Hi, my name's Sheehan, and today I'd like to talk about Singing in the Rain, the 1952 musical directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen, and of course starring Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor. And I'd like to go through this famous and much beloved movie, just going through the structure and some of the themes that crop up in it. Now, of course, this film needs little introduction, it's so famous. But I guess if you could sum it up in a sentence about the plot, I guess it would be something about people adapting to new and sudden technological advances in the movie industry. The film is set in the 1920s, at the meeting point between the silent movie era and the new talkies, where voices can be recorded and added to moving pictures. That's the kind of setting, and you could describe the film in 3 acts if you look at it in terms of its structure. In the first act, we're introduced to the main characters. We begin with this lavish premiere of this Hollywood blockbuster, a silent film called The Royal Rascal, a period drama. And as the stars turn up on the red carpet, looking glamorous and wonderful, we are introduced to Don Lockwood and Lena Lamont. They are like the poster couple for the 1920s movie industry. And they look fantastic, and as far as the public's concerned, they're a couple romantically involved, as they appear to be in all their movies they star together in. And as we're waiting for their latest movie to begin, Don recalls his rise to fame with his right-hand man, Cosmo, played brilliantly by Donald O'Connor. And from humble beginnings and through luck and through sheer hard graft and persistence, they eventually get to work for a Hollywood studio. Don being a leading man via some work as a stuntman, where he meets Lena Lamont, his on-screen love interest, and Cosmo being on top of his game, arranging music, etc. The premiere is a success. Afterwards, Don is mobbed by a crowd. He flees the crowd and he ends up being rescued in a car by Kathy Selden. Kathy offers to drive Don home. She doesn't recognise him initially, but Don realises he's attracted to her. There's a kind of connection between the two of them. Kathy is a serious stage actor, and she seems to have a slightly snobbish attitude towards Don and his silver screen career. Later that evening, Don is at a party celebrating the success of the Royal Rascal, and he's surprised to see Kathy again, this time as part of a dance troupe. It seems that's the way she earns a living while she's waiting for a big break on the stage. And here, a rather energetic song, All I Do Is Dream of You, is performed. Now, this party is at the house of R.F. Simpson, who is this big movie mogul, and he owns the studio, and he demonstrates this exciting, brand new, potentially industry-changing short film. It's a demonstration of a talking picture. Someone is not only being seen on the screen, but they're heard to be talking in perfect sync with the action. The people seem to think this is just a bit of a gimmick. They're not too concerned about it. And that's where Act 1 finishes. Act 2 is where we have our problem which needs to be worked out and overcome. What's the problem? It turns out that this innovation, the talking picture, having speech in movies, is no flash in the pan. It really has changed the industry for good. And R.F. Simpson, Don Lockwood, Lena Lamont, Cosmo and Kathy Selden have to adapt to these changes. Now we begin this act where we hear that Kathy was sacked from her dance troupe because she accidentally threw a cake in Lena Lamont's face. Lena is coming across now as this, played by Jean Hagen, as this rather irritating and coarse and egotistical individual. Cosmo then has this fantastic routine, Make 'em Laugh. You know, a really catchy song. It's so funny to watch this. It's a brilliant routine. And then R.F. Simpson meets with Don Lockwood and he's worried. The jazz singer, the first talkie, has been a massive success. He realises that his studio needs to keep up with the changes to try and compete. So he wants to turn Don and Lena's new movie, which is called The Dueling Cavalier, into a talkie. We then have this fantastic scene, like a musical montage scene, which is just so vibrant, exciting, so interesting to look at, which finishes with this song, Beautiful Girls. Don then meets Kathy again on the set and they fall in love, and we hear the song You Were Meant For Me. Now, because they're now having to talk in their movies, Lena and Don are having diction lessons, but it turns out Lena has got this, well, we know she's got this terribly grating voice, and it's becoming apparent to everybody except for Lena that she is ill prepared for the change to the talkies. Don, in his lesson, learns this really fun, nonsensical song called Moses Supposes with Cosmo and their teacher. We then have this funny scene where they're trying to plant a microphone surreptitiously out of shot so that Lena can deliver her lines and be heard. And then there's a preview of The Dueling Cavalier and it's a disaster. R.F. Simpson is a laughingstock, Don Lockwood and particular Lena Lamont are just ridiculed. But the sound is awful, they keep losing the signal, the microphone's too far away. Lena Lamont just has got this awful grating voice. Don is thoroughly depressed. He's already a little insecure about his career after a kind of flippant comments by Kathy, but now he is thoroughly depressed. He can only see his career going down the pipes. But his friends Cosmo and Kathy, they try to cheer him up and they come up with this great plan to turn The Dueling Cavalier into a musical. It's a new day and we have that fantastic song Good Morning. There's this new spirit of optimism, and it's here, after kissing Kathy goodbye, that in sheer joy, Gene Kelly, Don Lockwood, dances in this, in pure joy through the rain in that iconic scene. It's also decided that Kathy will overdub Lena's part. So Lena will appear on screen, but it's Kathy's voice we're hearing in both the spoken lines and the songs. In Act 3, the Dueling Cavalier is now given the moniker the Dancing Cavalier. R.F. Simpson likes these plans to turn this movie into a musical, and the overdubs start to be recorded by Kathy, and she sings Would You. We then have this new number called the Broadway Melody, which is this extended scene charting this nobody knocking at people's doors in Hollywood, eventually getting his break, being seduced by by fame, glamour and girls. And it's a wonderful scene. Again, really vibrant, full of life, beautifully danced. And but then Lena finds out about Kathy's overdubs and she's furious. She wants to stymie Kathy's career. She threatens to sue the studio. She basically throws her toys out the pram. And then at the end of the movie, we have the premiere of the Dancing Cavalier. It's a huge success, but Don, Cosmo and RF, they've got a plan up their sleeve to give Kathy the recognition she deserves for her beautiful singing and speaking voice, and to give Lena her comeuppance. Everyone hears Lena's grating voice in a speech, which surprises everybody in the auditorium. She starts to sing Singing in the Rain, with Kathy singing behind the curtain, but then the boys hoist up the curtain and Lena is exposed as being a fraud. And Kathy is recognised for being the artist she is. And it seems Don and Kathy have a long and happy future together at the end of the film. So, Singing in the Rain. I'm currently working my way through the films of the 50s. You know, it's been a real learning process for me, and Singing in the Rain, although it's so famous, is quite a new discovery for me. And I just think it's awesome. I just think it's just such fun, so enjoyable. It just strikes me how talented Hollywood stars were then. Gene Kelly, you know, he's just so handsome, he's just so, got a lovely voice, just of course dances brilliantly. And Cosmo, played by Donald O'Connor, what a terrific comic actor, all-round performer he is. Debbie Reynolds, absolutely brilliant. And Jean Hagen as Lena Lamont, I mean, really funny performance, absolutely brilliant. And the film is just a delight from beginning to end. You just watch it with a big smile on your face, forget your worries for a couple of hours. You know, it's no wonder that it's regarded with such affection in people's hearts. I think it's really clever as well. Something very contemporary about the knowing in-jokes in this film and the rather sophisticated humour of having films within a film, movies within a movie, and seeing the technical glitches in those movies and creating laughs that way. There's something, I think, very clever about that. Quite, I suppose, postmodern, really, you know, very much treating itself with a degree of irreverence and fun. So I think there's a real intelligence behind this movie as well. Just lifts the film again. You know, it's just full of great tunes, wonderful songs, you know. Good Morning, Moses Supposes is a funny song, Make 'Em Laugh. But of course Singing in the Rain. But just lifted by that kind of knowing wink as well from the writers and the director. It's just so clever. And visually it's spectacular. That montage scene in the middle of the film is just out of this world. It's just so exciting and vibrant and interesting, and the way it's edited, it's just absolutely terrific. And the Broadway Melody sequence as well near the end of the film is terrific. A bit more linear and traditional than the montage, but really great as well. And of course the Singing in the Rain scene is just an absolute joy, and you know, no wonder it's so famous. So yeah, Singing in the Rain, just such a great film, a great musical, filled with supremely talented artists. If you haven't seen it, and I hadn't seen it till recently, please check it out. And yeah, I've just included a brief slideshow of some of the themes and the structure of the movie. just after this. Thanks for watching. Bye.